Ronen and Orna Neutra join me live. First, I've got to ask you what your reaction is to President Trump's ultimatum. He doubled down on it yet again today, that Hamas must release, he says, all the hostages by Saturday.
Well, without President Trump, real strong leadership, I don't think any hostage would come out in this first stage. So we are really appreciative to all the rhetoric that he's shown and to his instructions to his representatives in the area. And we've seen how the whole Middle East reacted. So on first, we are thankful. Now, as far as moving forward, we're just parents, obviously. We are concerned. There are 76 hostages. Among them, at least half are known to be alive. And we all understand, after we saw this weekend the condition of the hostages coming back, how horrific, how starved, how, they were tortured, that it's really urgent and they have to come back.
Yeah, one of those hostages needed help just to walk, and yet Hamas forced them to go on a stage and thank them for the care that they received. I can't imagine your fury watching that.
Well, Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they will do everything to torture the families, to torture the people of Israel. And they've been doing that for 16 months now. And this is extremely painful for the families to watch. This, the president said dibble-dabble of hostages coming out every weekend. It's the worst situation you can find yourself. It's truly an extreme roller coaster of emotions for the families, not knowing who is coming out, seeing them coming out in these horrible conditions. And you can there's nothing left to imagine anymore, right? We know that whoever's left there is in really dire condition and needs to come out really, really quickly. And, and we appreciate the president's commitment to this, and he keeps reasserting that this is important to him, that they all need to come out. So we have to trust that, he's going to make sure that that happens.
A lot of people, there are some who would criticize President Trump for being so bold and so strong in making these remarks and ultimatums. I'm guessing the families of the hostages support that kind of language.
Well, of course, seeing a strong president demanding to see the people coming back. Out of the 76, there are still 6 Americans, among them our son, a hero, that rushed to the border to try and defend, and his life was taken on October 7, as we learned 422 days in. Of course, we appreciate it. We want to see our son coming to a proper burial as he deserves, together with the other deceased hostages. But we know that there is urgency, and we continue to fight and advocate for all the hostages to come out as soon as possible. We can't see them coming 3 a week. This has to change, and we're moving into stage 2 of the negotiations. We are happy to see that the president is taking strong leadership position on stating that it has to come in a very short, much more concise deal. And we're hoping that's what we're going to see coming in the next week or so.
You participated today, you're in Washington, D.C., to take part in a roundtable on Capitol Hill with the House Foreign Affairs Committee. This is your 3rd time testifying before this committee, but the first time since you found out your son was killed by Hamas. What did you say today?
The meeting is actually scheduled to take place tomorrow morning.
I'm ahead of it. What are you planning to say tomorrow then?
Well, we appreciate that there are new members that will probably be joining that meeting, and we will share with them some of our son's story and his heroism, and of course exert the need, the urgency to make sure that the hostages come home as soon as possible, like we've been saying all along.
There might be some, Orna, who might say it's, that somehow it's, just tiny degrees because it's so horrible and awful. But you're not waiting for your son to come home alive. You're waiting to bring him home, bring his body home to bury him. Is it any less excruciating when you're waiting in those circumstances?
You know, it's just sad. Sad, you know, is an understatement.
Yeah.
Of course, we're devastated by the loss of Omer's life, but there is some comfort that he's not suffering.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.